Ark! A young man yelled as a bright shining light emits from his hands, and an orb of light is shot out from them, hitting the tree in front of him. On contact, the tree explodes and the remaining debris gets burned away. That should be enough for the day. There's no way that he could keep up with that. Asta, time for dinner! The man turns his head and sees a nun calling out to him. Coming, Sister Lily! He starts to levitate and then he flies off towards her. Jeez, how many times do we have to tell you two to not overdo it during training? Sister Lily scolded Asta and the man next to him. Now look at you two. You're covered in sweat and bruises. Well, Yuno's the one that said he'd work harder than me, so I had to prove him wrong. Well, if that's what you were trying to do, then it's easy to see that you failed pretty hard. What was that, you brat? You want to say that again? You heard me. And who are you calling a brat, you runt? Since I'm the older brother and you're the younger brother, that makes you the brat. How am I the brat if I'm significantly taller than you? Why do you always bring height into everything? The sparks between these two intensify as they get closer and closer and the mana starts to flare. This actually causes the ground to start to break. The trees start to shake and even the church they're in front of rumbles. Looks like those two are at it again, an onlooker says. Those two really will be the stars of this village, won't they? Yeah, only if they don't break the village while they're at it. These random farmers say this a couple miles away, looking at the church with swirling winds and simmering light. The sparks between Asta and Yuno increase even more as the mana takes color, with Yuno getting a green ore and Asta getting a yellow one. What's this girl but again? 5150? Me? Yuno asked. Oh, my sweet little brother. How you've been mistaken. It's actually 5150 for me. If we include draws, then that's 5350. Tick marks go on Yuno as he says, why would draws go to you? They're called draws, not Asta wins because he wants it to. Well, I don't make the rules now, do I? Yuno takes a deep breath in, calmly says, it doesn't matter to me. After this, the score's gonna be 52-50. Well, we'll just have to see about that, won't we? The two make a motion to move, but before they do, they get slammed by two giant fists of water from above. Just stop it already! Where Asta and Yuno once stood, now lie two humanoid craters in the ground. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sister Lily says, covering her mouth. For the prodigies of Haas, they get taken out by a mere nun every time, Nas says from inside. Asta, Yuno, Nas is dissing y'all again. Shut up, Nas! He sticks his tongue out at the two. Asta and Yuno have been rivals ever since they were left at the church and Father Ursi took them in. From a young age, Asta had shown a proficiency for mana and controlling it. The output, the density, he even showed off a spell at just 5 years old. Because of this, Yuno felt like he had to catch up with him early on, and crying all the time wouldn't have helped. The two were a tag team duo and always looked out for one another, but when the topic of Wizard King came up, you would think that they've hated each other their entire lives. Despite how intense they can get, the two love each other more than anything and would instantly kill if it called for it. They may be rivals, but they've always been brothers. Coming back to the present, Asta and Yuno go to bed that night with lumps on their heads and slap marks on their cheeks. The next day, the family goes out to the Grimoire Tower. I can't wait to see all the grimoires, all the different sizes and colors. You really are tired, aren't you, Asta? You know, I swear I'll cast an arc that's gonna blow you sky high. Enough of that, Father Ursi says. Can you guys just be friends for 2 seconds before starting up some competition? Nas asks with a sigh. For you, little guy, I'll do anything, Asta says, ruffling his hair. Stop that! Everyone chuckles at this and Asta picks up Nas and runs ahead making flying noises. Nas can't help but laugh and have fun up until they get inside. Alright, time to get down, little man. He brings them down as the rest of the family comes inside. Once they walk further inside, the family becomes more quiet as they gain more worried faces. Oh, wow, would you look at what the cat dragged in? Don't disrespect cats like that. This is no better than a rat bringing in moldy cheese. The nobles in the tower made several comments about Asta and Yuno, who have lost their smiles and look as blank as canvases. Oh my, the rodents heard us. Yeah, they were smiling me a moment ago. I wonder if they heard us or just want to look cool to gain some resemblance of covering up the peasantry. Asta grips his fist as he mumbles, blinding you, piercing your body, burning your skin, exploding you to pieces, absorbing you completely. So much more. Yuno grips Asta's soda. Asta slowly turns around and sees Yuno's face. He shakes his head no. Putting a smile on his face, Asta grabs Yuno's hand. Thank you, Yuno. I'm here if it ever gets too much, Asta. Yuno takes his hand off and gains a small smile of his own. The Great Maid comes out and grants grimoires of all shapes and sizes to all different types of people. But then, out of nowhere, a giant burst of mana gets felt throughout the tower as a green four-leaf clover comes down. A four-leaf? It's like the legend. I didn't know those existed. Who's gonna get it? The grimoire drifts down to Yuno. He grabs it out of the air as the sighting stops. Moments of silence pass. I'm going to be the Wizard King. I'm going to be the Wizard King. There we go. Yuno shouts confidently, breaking the silence. The commoners start to cheer, which, cause not only do they know and like Yuno, but they also love the idea of someone like them being capable of great things. You've got to be kidding me, Asta says, stumbling onto the floor. What the hell is mine? Asta shouts this out to no one in particular, and now a long silence follows, with everybody in the building being beyond stunned. After a solid 4 minutes, a noble scoffs, then another one chuckles, and before anyone knew it, the tower was filled with the laughter of nobles. Are you serious? I know you're a peasant, but not even getting a grimoire? That's truly disgusting. What a pathetic little instinct. I don't even pity you, this is so cruel. They just keep laughing and berating Asta, who is beyond surprised. Their non-members are bewildered at this as well. But that can't be. Asta's magic levels have been equal, if not better, than Yuno's since birth, Lily says. It just doesn't make any sense, Rosie says. Asta. But Asta doesn't hear Yuno say his name or the berating. Asta doesn't hear Yuno say his name, nor does he hear the berating or confusion. All he hears are these mumbling noises. There was multiple high-pitched voices. Is it him? I think it is. This early? He looks just like his mother. He's the one. He's been chosen. Asta gains a smirk as he gets back on his feet and looks at Yuno. I don't care if I don't have a grimoire. I don't care if I'm not chosen or worthy of one. That won't stop me. I'll surpass the greatness of your four leaf with my arc alone if I have to. I don't care how hard it be, how many times I face death. You wanna know why? The tower's been silenced as Yuno smiles wildly at his brother. Please enlighten us. As Asta goes to respond to Yuno, the mumbling in his head comes to a stop as these clear and powerful words are heard in his mind. You have been blessed. You are chosen by my light. I will be the Wizard King. Accept my grace. Pierce the darkness. My 4 archangels. At that moment, the tower, the village, the entire Clover Kingdom shakes. An earthquake roams throughout the entire kingdom as power that has never even been thought of comes to pass. What the hell is this? All the captains think as the sky starts to shine brighter and brighter. This can't be. The first? Julius thinks to himself. Going back to the tower, every single remaining grimoire on the shelves start to emit blinding light. The only one that can see fine is Asta, and he's incredibly confused. Hey Gramps, just how many grimoires are left? Covering his eyes, the Great Maid says, after today there's 40,000 left on the shelves. Are you sure? Cause it looks like they're combining. What? The maid tries to look, but the slightest removal of his arm literally burns part of his retinas. The grimoires are slamming into each other and causing the light to get brighter and brighter. It gets to the point where it starts to burn off clothes. Just as the captains and Julius are about to step in to see what's causing this, the light starts to dwindle before fading away entirely in 4 seconds. Just what in the world was that? They think to themselves. Going back to the tower, the lights coming off the grimoire stop as the people slowly move their hands and drop the magic so they can see again. And when they do, they see something that'll be ingrained in their minds to their deathbed. Every single grimoire that remained on the shelves were gone, nowhere to be found. Only 4 remained. It can't be! It's literally impossible. The maid yells out seeing this. Nobody else can properly form words to convey the emotions they feel. The last 4 grimoires came floating off the shelves and down to Asta. All of them had white covering with golden pages. Each of them has a unique color and symbol in the middle. One of them has blue ocean waves embroidered with ocean tides in the middle. One has green wind embroidered. One has green wind embroidered with a tornado in the middle. One has yellow stars embroidered with an open flight in the middle. And the last one has orange flames embroidered with a sun in the middle. The grimoires look the same from back to front, with the key difference being that on the front, they all have 4-leaf clovers in the middle instead of a tornado, ocean, orb of light, or sun. All 4 of these grimoires have come off the shelf and are circling Asta. Asta, your eyes. Muno says the first words within the last 5 minutes and brings attention to the change in Asta's eyes. His once green eyes are gone and have been replaced with orange ones, and his pupils have transformed into the golden symbol of the goddesses. Sariel, Tamiel, Eudocia, and Mael, Asta mumbles out. 4? That pathetic commoner who didn't get anything a few minutes ago got 4 grimoires? That's impossible. If anyone deserves it, it should be one of us, not him. The nobles go on and on about how he's unfit for such power, but they all get silenced by a literal flick of the wrist that causes shockwaves. I know now, Asta says out loud. I know what happened. Ever since I was born, I've at the very least been equal to someone worthy of a 4-leaf. He looks at the stunned Yuno. I've always felt that when I reached my limits, that there was something beyond there, something surpassing that. But I could never reach it. Now I get it. This is what was beyond my peak, beyond my limits. Asta smirks. Now that I've made it past my breaking point, I'll have to go even beyond that. My potential's been unlocked. Now I'm 4 steps closer to becoming the Wizard King. 4 steps? That means nothing if I'm already 8 steps beyond that. Yuno says, walking up to him. Don't think for a second that because of this, that I'm gonna be giving up. It's the opposite, actually. I'll be working even harder than ever just to widen the gap between us. It'll be pretty fun to see you try and catch up, though. With smirks on both of their faces, the brothers fist pump as they both declare, like it or not, I will be the Wizard King. Asta, you're so cool! You can be the Wizard King for sure. Screw that! You'll be the actual king of the kingdom. Yeah, that's the Wizard King, dummy. The family hears this and many, many more compliments and pleasantries as they walk out of the tower. Shocked? Yeah, we're all shocked. I didn't think this could have ever been expected. Nas finishes Lily's thoughts. Alright, it's decided. We're gonna be having a pot potato fiesta tonight. Yay! The kids yell out as the group heads home. In the evening, Asta and Yuno head out as the pot potatoes are about to get made to train more of the grimoires. Like they leave as the food is about to get made to train more. Guys, come on! You've already spent like 3 hours training, Orsi complains. Well, I have a 4-leaf clover, so that's another hour for another clover, Yuno says as he heads out. And I have 4 full leaves, so really, I deserve 12 more hours of training. It's not our fault you miss us so badly. Asta says, following him. I do not, Orsi lies to himself. Alright, I think I got the hang of this now. Asta's Tornado Grimoire starts to shine as he says, Blessed Magic, Tornado Grace. Asta lifts his hand and a strong, wild, and powerful tornado spawns in the middle of the forest, cutting and tearing through the trees, leaving them nothing more than wood chips. Now, Blessed Magic, Ocean Grace. His Ocean Grimoire shines as the destroyed remains of the forest become absorbed in a swirling typhoon of water that encompasses the entire surrounding area. Blessed Magic, Ocean Grace, dance of the water dragon. All the water around him starts to shake as a mini earthquake happens and the water takes the shape of dragons and shoots out into the sky. The typhoon dissipates as all the water gets blasted off into the sky, which causes it to make the few clouds gray and start a mini rainstorm. And to end it off, blessed magic, tornado grace, descending eagles! From the gray clouds soar down eagles made of wind onto the ground, each of them making craters upon impact. I think I'm getting the hang of these spells. He notices his mana levels and that they've barely been affected. I guess it would take a lot of mana to have Fulgrim laws, so an increase makes sense. He suddenly whips his head back as he senses a certain mana change. His eyes become blank and he speaks monotone. Blessed magic. Flash. In a moment, Asta appears in front of a chained up Yuno and a smirking Revti. Revti spits on Yuno before kicking his head to the ground before he turns around and sees Asta. My, well if it isn't my lucky day, guess I'll be snacking 5 full leaves instead of 1. Revti's chains charge at Asta, but as they get in close, they get burned in an instant. What the hell? Revti gains a nervous sweat as he sends out hundreds of chains. Blessed magic, attracting arc. Blessed magic, attracting arc. The chains suddenly change their target as instead of going for Asta's head or any of his vitals, they start moving to the glowing arc right above him. What the hell are you? Revti says as he slowly backs away. Asta! I'm fine, everything's fine. Calm down. These words go unheard as Asta slowly raises his hand. Blessed magic. Arc. The orb of light intensifies as it completely blinds Revti, who starts a blood-curdling scream. Arc. The orb of light then takes on sharper forms and pierces his body. Arc. The impaled, blinded Revti screams even louder as his skin begins to burn rapidly. Arc. The arc swallows Revti whole as his screams get lower and lower. Yuno's face is horrified at the sight. Now. Arc! Showing the first sound of emotion, Asta yells, clenching his fist, and the arc reacts to its wielder and it completely explodes Revti's body. All that's left when the light dwindles is an armless and legless Revti. How am I still alive? With every blow I've landed on you, I healed that part of your body. Just enough where you can stay alive, not feel, but not enough to where you can't feel any pain. I want you to suffer. Asta, stop it! He said enough, I'm fine! But Asta doesn't hear his pleading brother. All he hears are these mumbling noises, these mumbling voices. It was multiple deep voices. Is it him? Oh, for sure. But it's so early. Look at him. He's like one of us. He'll be great. Wait, isn't he? Asta's face becomes more and more shrouded in darkness, as all of his pent-up frustrations, rage, and pure hatred for nobles and their arrogance surface. 11 years of sickening hate shows itself as Asta says, "This whole noble communal system is nothing more than disgusting. I don't care what any of you think about me, my family, or where we come from, but the second you lay so much as a finger on them, I will end you." The mumbling in his head starts to clear as powerful words are heard in his mind. You have been cursed. You are consumed by my darkness. People like you will be the first thing I deal with when I become Wizard King. Yield to my strength, shatter the light, my 10 commandments. At that moment, a phenomenon like no other occurs. The previous earthquake that was felt throughout the kingdom spreads as it consumes the entire world. The earth, the seas, even the sky itself shakes from this immeasurable power. The Wizard Kings, as strongest people of each nation, can do nothing but kneel as this overwhelming presence consumes everything. Even heaven and hell aren't safe as panning above the sky we see an angelic, beautiful, We see an angelic, beautiful sky with bright and colorful brilliance everywhere you look. The usually calm and collected residents are now in a panic, flying sporadically with their white wings. The being that stands above them all can be called nothing more but a goddess. Is this? Penning below the ground, dark and grimy creatures run around in panic. Some fly off with their wings of black, and others start destroying things as they think it's the end times. Above them all is a creature that can't be described as anything more than the devil. Not a demon, the devil. This is. Panning back to Asta, the ground beneath him begins to darken to a purplish black color, as from within this darkness comes forth 11 five-leaf grimoires. They start to circle around him as the darkness below him stretches out to Revti, who is knocked out from fear and confusion. This causes a chain reaction as the 4 leaves come out and circle around Asta above the 5 leaves, with a dark mark on his forehead and blackened eyes. Asta yells out, "Curse magic! Hellblaze!" Screams aren't even heard, as Revti instantly gets set ablaze by black flames. He gets turned to nothing as Asta passes out. The darkness fades and all the grimoires fall to the ground. The chains around Yuno dissipate and he fully takes in everything he just saw. This causes him to pass out as well. 15 minutes later, Asta is shaken awake by finding Yuno. What is it? What's wrong? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Did you feel that? What do you mean? Feel what? The two get up as Yuno explains. An earthquake like earlier hit again, but it was so much stronger. The last thing I remember was getting attacked by chainmaids and seeing you appear. What about you? Last thing I remember was coming over here to you because your mana had changed, but anything after that is a blur. How strange. Yuno then looks down and gives another smile. I guess you're the reason for the massive earthquake again, huh? Why do you think it was me? Putting the blame on me because of my 4 grimoires, Asta? You don't have 4 grimoires anymore. What? What do you mean? Yuno points down, and Asta looks down to see his 4 leaves, but he also sees 11 5 leaves. One of them has a 5 leaf in the middle, on both sides, but the other 10 have purple embroidery, with a strange symbol in the middle on the back. Love. What? That's what it says. It says love, Asta says, picking one of them up. And piety and purity, resonance, truth, faith, repose, patience, pacifism, and selflessness. That's what they all say. You were so scared of me catching up to you that you needed to get 11 more grimoires? I know I'm strong, but I didn't think that you'd be that terrified of me. Shut it, Yuno. The two of them bicker like this on their way back to the church, neither of them remembering how Asta had tortured Revti, nor the darkness that conjured itself beneath them. Time skip. Over the next 6 months, Asta and Yuno get more and more accustomed to their power, Asta especially since he has to get used to 14 grimoires. It's the day of the Magic Knights exam and Asta and Yuno are heading out. Bye guys, we love you. We'll write you letters every day. But that's so weird. We'll write to you guys every day. These words were not enough to soothe the sobbing Ursi, but everyone else was happy to see the two follow their dreams. Wanna waste it? Before Asta could finish, Yuno blasted off hundreds of feet away from him. Why, you little... A tornado formed under Asta as he blasted off after him. Despite you getting a head start, I'm still ahead of you with my slower form of transportation. You're kinda making me tired, actually. You really think I'm trying, you brat? Don't call me that when I'm older! Asta's lower body turns into a tornado and flies off because of how pissed he is. Yuno's wind surrounds him and he blasts off and briefly gets ahead of Asta. Asta blasts off and gets a little ahead, but Yuno isn't far behind. They do this the entire way, each of them getting like ahead, then back in second place, and ahead and back in second place. They do that until they make it to the capital in 30 minutes instead of a week, or however long it took in the original. Inside the capital, we see Finral and Gordon waiting outside the bathroom while Yami takes a dump. Yo, what is that? The two turn around and see two shining glints in the distance. Oh, Gordon whispers in amazement. The glints quickly become more visible as they're seen as two people swung towards them. Whoa, wait, stop! Finwell says as a massive dust cloud appears in front of the two. As the dust clears, the two black bulls see Asta and Yuno, who aren't even tired and are simply arguing. I clearly won that. No, you didn't. I did. Are you sure about that, my little brother Asta? 1, I'm older than you. 2, stop bringing height into everything. The two turn and instantly get in Finwell's face. Hey, did you see who got here first? Finwell stammers and can't respond when Gordon whispers. Hey, yeah, I saw who won. It was the sort of one right there. A moment of silence passes. Oh yeah, you hear that? You know, suck on that. You know it's about to yell back, but he gets a smirk and then walks away. Hey, where you going? You know doesn't even turn back as he still walks ahead. Don't try to act cool like you don't care. Arthur yells as he catches up to a laughing Yuno. Wow, those guys are crazy fast. Finwell says in awe, looking at the two. Going over to them, Asta and Yuno make it to the Magic Night exam. They wait in line for the Grimoire tech. When Yuno goes up the guy scanner, when Yuno goes up to the guy scanner is astonished. A 4-leaf? Wow! I didn't think these were real. This causes murmurs in the line as Yuno gets his Grimoire. Walks ahead and gives Asta a little smirk. That pretty-faced bastard, I'll give you something to smirk about. That doesn't really make sense, you know? Shut up and scan my grimoires, please. Yeah, give it here. Asta hands over his sun-signed grimoire. The guy goes to register it, but Asta raises his hand. Wait. 3, 2, 1. Now, at that moment, the sun would come into the area and would shine a brightness that caused a little discomfort. Blessed magic. Sun-sign grace. Sun flare. Asta lets out a little arc and sends it into the path of the sun, which causes even more brightness for the people behind him. The arc over time starts to intensify, becoming its own miniature sun, which really pisses off the people behind him, but they don't know that he's the one doing it. Sorry about all that, I just don't want the competition knowing about this just yet, but here you go. Asta then places down his other 3 4-leaves. The guy gets a smirk before giggling. So you mean to tell me that all these are... Asta cuts him off by closing his fist and having all 4 start to glow and levitate. Before the man can properly react, the 11 5-leaves start to levitate and place themselves on the counter. The man, now taking all this information in, is gaping like a fish and is about to yell when Asta says, "Shh, competition can't know yet, remember?" The man covers his mouth with both hands and lets out a muffled scream. He slaps himself a couple times, looks up and still sees the 15 grimoires and just scans them with astoundment on his face. "Here, you can go." "Thanks." Asta heads in, removing the mini sun. The sun goes back to normal and everyone behind Asta can see again. I don't think I'll ever be surprised again, the man thinks to himself. Now is a good time to explain how Asta looks. He's now standing at 163 centimeters or 5'4", and he's just as attractive as Yuno. He looks the same as the original. He wears a white shirt with long sleeve, black pants, and a dark blue jacket with a dark blue headband on his forehead. Over all of this is a pitch black robe that hides the 4 grimoire satchels on his waist and 11 satchels on his back. Over all of this is a pitch black robe that hides the 4 grimoire satchels on his waist and 11 on his back. Yeah. Going back to the story, Asta and Yuno gain all the attention as the anti-mana birds stay a mile away from them. I'm not exaggerating, they literally stand a mile's distance away from the two. This literally creates a circle of space that separates them from everyone else. Who are those guys? Are they nobles? They kinda look like it. Yeah, they're so cute. What family are they from? I don't know any major family that's participating. Are they from a lost family? Maybe migrants from another kingdom? Nobles and commoners alike are astonished by their mere existence, as they all made notable out the gate. Literally. I think we already have targets on our back. Yuno said. Yeah, seems like it. Don't be too afraid though. Your big brother will be here to protect you from these scary competitors. Shouldn't I be saying that to you? Why, you little... Why must you always make me mad? Oh, that's really simple. It's really easy and really funny. Oh, I'll give you something to... Asta gets cut off by bumping into the man in front of him. Oh, my bad, bro. Oh, my bad, bro. This is when Yami turns around with a pissed expression. Kid, you wanna die? He asks, picking Asta up by the head. Captain, please, these are the guys from earlier. Don't scare them off. Oh, so these are the bats you two are talking about? Well, we'll see what the... A sudden flash of light appears, and when it clears, Asta and Yuno are seen walking away. Sorry, but I'd rather not be dagged today. Ah, so that's it. Yami starts looking at the two walking away. I could have sworn he was using some type of wind magic to fly. Both of them were. Right, Gordon? Yeah, it seemed like it. Yeah, it seemed like it. Well, I guess we'll just have to see what they're capable of. The anti-mana birds clear out as the captains arrive and sit down. Excuse me. The anti-mana birds clear out as the captains arrive and sit down on the chairs. Alright, the Magic Knight's exam shall commence. First we'll be testing how well you'll be able to maneuver. Fonzens uses his World Tree magic and sends out a bunch of brooms to the contestants. If you aren't able to at least hover off the ground, your chances will surely diminish. Nozel says. Everyone starts to fly at varying degrees. Some can hover and some can fly pretty well. But only two contestants soar above the rest. Ah, so you decided to use water this time. Yeah, I've already used Tornado and Flash, so I want to mix it up a little, you know? Asta and Yuno have a casual conversation as they fly around the Colosseum, with wind and water surrounding them respectively. Incredible! Such brilliant use of their magic! Will says excitingly. Seems like we know who the two shining stars are, Frigolion adds. Wait, he definitely used some type of light magic beforehand, right? And it was some type of wind before that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It truly seems incredible, and I can't wait to see what he'll do next. Yami leans forward in the seat. Just what the hell are you, kid? He mumbles to himself. The next test is power, and the brothers obliterate the stone wall to nothing but ash, with both of them using wind attacks. Finral takes a step back and points his finger at them. There it is! The wind magic! Is this a multi-purpose type of magic? Solid asks. Could be, or maybe something like mine, Will says. I'm interested to see more of that boy, Nozel says. In the control test, the paper goes soaring in the sky easily with Asta using Sunshine. On the evolution test, both of them are able to grow the seed into a tree with Asta using Flash. That's 4 different types of magic we've seen him use. How interesting. The Purple Orca's captain says, don't nobody know that nigga name. I wonder what he'll do next. Jack says, don't leave out his friend. That boy has been keeping pace with him this entire time, and has only shown wind magic. Vanson says, in the creation test, Yuno makes a giant eagle of wind that flies up into the sky. How are you gonna combat this? He asks, looking down at Asta. Oh, you wanna see how? Asta gains a smirk as he gains this purple aura around him. A pillar of stone shoots out the ground and launches itself at the eagle. Yuno easily dodges this, but is taken aback by the 10 other pillars coming behind him. He bobs and weaves all of them and turns around to shoot out magic of his own, but then he sees a gigantic stone golem. It's 2 times the height of the Colosseum. The captains are left wide-eyed as everyone is surprised by this display of power. Note that Asta didn't even take out his grimoire, and to everyone that wasn't a captain, the golem just came out of nowhere. When that boy dodged the pillars, he decided to turn the pillars into parts of the golem. What incredible control and creation. At such speeds, too, Frigolion says. It sure is interesting. Yeah. Don't know why you're saying that. We know he's not gonna pick you out of all people. Yeah, you're right, Yami responds to Nozel. Next up are the fights, and this is when a noble comes up to Asta and "You two are truly incredible. You really set the precedent between the difference of us and those common scum. Please, tell me what families you two are from." Asta's eyes start to twitch. When grabs a soda. The two look at each other, and Asta lets out a deep breath before flashing a bright smile. "We're actually commoners ourselves." The noble takes a step back. He unscarfs and demands to fight Asta to put him in his place, and not to get cocky. "But didn't you just compliment both of us?" "That doesn't matter! Fight me! Now!" Asta looks to Vance, who nods, and everybody else makes way for the two. "I'll show you what true power is, you scum." The noble's grimoire signs, and he shoots out massive bolts of lightning. Asta stands still entirely, and doesn't move a single inch. The lightning lands, and the noble smirks at his power, but it quickly drops when the dust clears and Asta is in the exact same position, with a smile on his face. "What the? Alright then, have some more." He sends out 10 times the amount of lightning, and it moves that many times fast. Asta still doesn't move, and when the dust settles, he's shown not having a single scratch on him. What are you doing? How are you taking no damage?" "I don't know. Aren't you nobles supposed to be the most powerful?" This makes the noble go red as his grimoire shines brighter than it ever has, and he sends out bolts of lightning with everything he's got. "Ah, so that explains his power level," Asta thinks as he raises his hand. When the lightning hits Asta, it starts to transform into something else. Everyone sees Asta remove the electricity from the lightning and transform it into nothing more than a bright light. For a noble, I guess you aren't that bad, but a mere power level of 800 will get you nowhere when up against someone like me. With that being said, he shoots the light at the noble, who gets blasted into the wall. "You really just beat a noble, so easily too. What did he mean by power level? Was he even trying?" The spectators mumble about the fight when Yuno steps out. "May I fight him next?" he asks, looking at the captains. "We wish to see more from both of you, so if he's fine with it, then you may proceed," Charlotte says. "Well, I don't mind going again, but I don't want to bully my little brother in front of all these people." Wind starts picking up as Yuno's grimoire begins to shine. Funny, because I was about to say the exact same thing to you, my little brother. Asta gains a tick mark as he says, "Okay, you little punk, let's do this then." Earth shoots out the ground and charges at Yuno, who gracefully dodges. Asta slams his hand on the ground, and it begins to shake. Yuno jumps up as the ground beneath him bursts open with several spikes coming out of it. Yuno maneuvers through the air to avoid the hits by surrounding himself with wind. He then takes this wind and shoots out multiple wind blades at the stones. They pierce through and get embedded in the ground. Yuno's eyes widen as he feels Asta's presence behind him. "Tornado!" The wind around Yuno expands as he backs away from where he was to gain some distance. When he turns, Asta is nowhere to be found. Left, right, up, down. Yuno looks everywhere but still can't find him. He suddenly starts to plummet toward the ground as Asta comes out of the tornado that Yuno had made. As he comes out of it, he takes control of his tornado and adds water to it. Compound magic. Furious Typhoon! He shoots it to the falling Yuno, who raises his hand, and the wind blades from earlier zoom up to his defense to fend off against it. Yuno lands briefly on the ground, but the second his feet touch it, it crumbles and captures his ankles. Asta suddenly appears behind him and goes to throw a punch, but Asta appears in front of him and goes to throw a punch, but Yuno manages to matrix it and bend over the punch. As he bends over, he surrounds his arms with slashing winds and swings them, aiming for Asta's feet. Asta cancels the wind with a swipe, but when he does, Yuno blasts himself up, which makes him go from the Neo position to standing straight up. He keeps blasting wind behind him to propel his fist, and actually lands a jab at Asta's face, who skids back. He looks up again and just narrowly dodges a downward kick from Yuno, who is moving via propulsion. As his foot drops, he does a spin kick that's so strong it shatters the stone covering his ankle. He quickly brings that leg down and drops an axe kick that breaks off the stone as well. The shattered pieces of stone turn into tiny needles that charge Yuno, who spins and surrounds himself with wind to negate them. Asta grabs and whips the tornado off of Yuno, but when he does, he gets a spin kick to the face which knocks him to the ground so hard he recoils back up. When he comes back up, they both send out blasts of wind to the face, which sends both of them flying into the wall. Everyone has their eyes glued onto the fight, as the two brothers start walking toward the middle of the arena, wiping the dust off of them. That was a pretty good warm-up, don't you think? Yuno asked. Asta cracks his neck and does a couple little hops. Yeah, that was pretty nice, but I'm not fully warmed up yet. I want to try some hand-to-hand. Say no more. They both rush in the middle of the arena, and start clashing with flurries of punches and kicks. Yuno goes for a right hook, to which Asta backs away from it and goes for a kick to the chest. It lands, but Yuno grabs onto his legs as he starts to swing around. As he does this, Asta gives out multiple punches to his upper body before he elbows Yuno's elbow, which makes him let go of his leg. As he's let free, Asta does a roundhouse kick and knocks Yuno to the ground. He goes to stomp on his arm, to which Yuno rolls out of the way. He goes to stomp on his face, to which Yuno rolls out of the way. As he rolls, he grabs onto Asta. As he rolls, he grabs onto Asta's ankle again, shoots out wind from the soles of his feet, so he starts to circle around them while on the ground. He builds this momentum and blasts off the ground, flipping Asta over at the same time. As Yuno is upright, Asta is upside down, with his feet being where Yuno's face is. Yuno gut techs Asta, which blows him back a little, but he bounces on his hands and pushes himself off the ground, narrowly avoiding a wind eagle sent out to him. The brief seconds he's in the air, Asta spins around and raises his hand to the eagle that he had just dodged, and sends it right back at Yuno. Yuno goes to disperse it, but the moment he does, Asta is right in front of him and kicks him in the ribs. This sends Yuno to the wall of the Coliseum, but before he can land in it, Asta is right behind him and gives him a one-inch punch that sends him flying forward. Yuno uses momentum to start flying around, to which Asta got right on his tail. They soar across the sky, shooting blasts of wind and earth at each other. Wind magic, eagle's reign! Yuno sends out an eagle the size of the Coliseum and blades the size of pillars to the incoming Asta. They soar across the sky, shooting blasts of wind and earth at each other. Wind magic, eagle's reign! Yuno sends out an eagle the size of the Coliseum and blades the size of its pillars to the incoming Asta. Guess this would be the best time to test this out. Asta thinks to himself as he starts to glow with this reddish purple-black aura. Compound magic. Erasing Hellbird! Asta raises his hands and a bird made of black flames soars out of it and towards the giant attack from Yuno. When the spells collided, the anti-magic coating Asta had put on the bird had negated the entirety of Yuno's spell, and only left the blazing bird to land directly on Yuno. Before his spell could be completely negated, Yuno had detached a wing from his eagle and sent it soaring toward Asta from behind. Asta was able to dodge this, but it exploded the moment Yuno got hit with the bird. A massive cloud of smoke fills the sky as the two are sent flying down toward the ground. This doesn't stop them as they propel themselves to each other and start boxing again. They continue this until they're about to reach the ground with Asta below Yuno. Yuno closes his hands together and slams them into Asta's head, who at the same time gives a mean uppercut to Yuno. Yuno sends Asta very deep within the earth as Asta sends Yuno through two clouds. A brief moment of silence takes place as everyone watching let out a breath they didn't know they were holding. 4 seconds go by before the ground begins to shake heavily and the sky starts to darken. Slowly revealing themselves, Asta rises from the ground on a pillar of earth as Yuno descends from the sky with massive rings of wind. Clouds start forming into tornadoes and crazy winds encompass a 5-mile radius due to Yuno, as Asta's lower body has become a tornado. Swirling bodies of water circle around Asta and a small sun is right above his head with light emitting off him, and his arms are covered with darkness. Both brothers have crazed smiles on their faces as they both shout, "I will be the Wizard King!" They charge each other at ridiculous speeds. At that moment, 2 people jump off the balcony they are watching the fight and go to intervene. Dark magic, lightless slash. Word tree magic, magic tree descent. With a puff of his cigarette, Yami slashes through Yuno's spells and restrains him with dark magic whips at the same time, while Vandant raises his hand and has a giant tree come from the sky that pierced through all of Asta's attacks and restricted him at the same time. Both captains land on the cratered ground and look at the two boys trying to get out of their restraints. We sure got some feisty ones this year, huh? Well, they definitely are a lively bunch. They let the brothers go and walk over to them. You brats realize that you were going to destroy the Colosseum, right? Yami asks. Okay, well, we weren't gonna go that far, man. Kid, you literally caused earthquakes from you just rising from the ground. And you blackened the sky with your wind magic. So maybe we went a little far, but it's not my fault. Everything I did was in self-defense. Yuno crosses his arms with a huff. Can you call it self-defense when you're the one that taunts me? Can it, you brat? Who are you calling brat, you punk? Okay, that's enough, you two. Yami says, getting in between them. Hey, Sword Stack, what did you just call me? I called you Sword Stack, Sword Stack. Fix up this arena. You are the one who did the most damage with your earth magic. Plus, you two got so lost in the fight that you forgot you were the first one to go in. So, Asta asks. Well, it's kinda hard for there to be a battle without a battlefield. You're lucky that makes sense. Asta mumbles as he touches the ground and repairs it to look as good as new. The viewers have been too impressed by their whole fight for them to care about him restoring the ground in an instant. The other fights are gone, and then it's time for the participants to be accepted into Magic Knight squads. When Yuno goes up, he gets all hands and triumphantly picks up the Golden Dawn. When Asta goes up, the captains look at each other before nodding. Before we make any decision, we have one question for you, Wanzan says. Alright, go for it. Why is he talking to a captain like some regular guy, especially the captain of the Golden Dawn? Our question is, just what exactly is your magic? You've displayed numerous types from earth to wind to light to water. You've even been able to not only control wind and lightning, but you could also alter it as well. Yet the only spell you named out was a combination of fire and some type of negation ability. So please, enlighten us on what you have, Nozel asks. Well, you see, despite what I've shown, I only have two types of magic, blessed and cursed magic. My blessed magic grants me the ability to emit and control an orb of light, which I call Arc. He raises his left hand and an arc forms in his palm. My cursed magic gives me the ability to control both flames and darkness. He raises his right hand and wisps of darkness come out his fingertips while an orange flame comes out of his palm. Well, the real kicker is that I have magic even beyond that. I've been blessed by mana, and because of that, it's taken form as graces. I have the grace of Flash, Ocean, Tornado, and Sunshine. But because of how much mana I have, I think I've been cursed by it as well to balance it out. That curse takes form as commandments of love, piety, selflessness, pacifism, patience, repose, truth, faith, purity, and resonance. This explanation stunned everyone that heard it whose name wasn't Yuno. Nonsense! That doesn't even make sense! Nozel says, showing more anger than usual. How could you be loved by mana so much that it cursed you after blessing you? To be honest, I don't even know myself. That's just how I've made sense of it. But if you think about it, it's not that far of a stretch to make. Sometimes you love something so much that you want to protect it from anything and everything. But by doing so, you're only hurting whatever it is, even though you're trying to show it your affection. So that could be applicable here, I guess. I guess that reasoning isn't too outlandish, Frigolian says. Could you show us these graces and commandments, you call them? Jack asked. Without any warning or prep time, the captains feel the same pressure they did 6 months ago. Asta takes off his cloak, and he reveals the 11 glowing 5 leaves on his back, and the 4 glowing 4 leaves on his waist. One of the 5 leaves shoot out into the sky as the others get out of their saddles and spin around Asta rapidly. The graces giving off a white light, while the commandments give off a black light. The spinning lasts for 15 seconds as everyone nearby holds their breath and the captains are on guard. Dorothy has her eyes wide open at this point. The spinning reaches its climax before being cleared. Asta's attire is now completely different and will remain like this for the rest of the series, unless for 99% of the time. He now has Mont's beats, dark green pants, white cloak, and golden boots, with Esterosa's dark blue long coat and golden gauntlets to match the boots. On each gauntlet are 5 commandments. He still has his headband, but it's become a white color, and has the symbol of the goddesses in the middle. To its right are a sun and a star. To its left are a tornado and the ocean. And to retcon something I made from earlier, I said that for his flask grimoire, it was an orb of light in the middle. That orb of light is just a star now instead, to make things easier. Asta raises his hand and catches the anti-magic grimoire that was sent in the sky earlier, and puts it in the satchel. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Now I don't have to feel those grimoires on my back anymore. Anyway, is that enough to satisfy you guys, or do you want to see more? The captains are flabbergasted at what they're seeing. First off, the drip goes crazy. But second, and more importantly, they all sense the passive aura that Asta gives off, and it's almost intoxicating. The mana radiating off of him, it's akin to that of Sir Tullius, Ravanton says. All the captains raise their hands at this display. All of you want me? Stop it, I'm gonna buzz. Everyone's taken aback by this, as they wouldn't expect him to act that way. The squad I'll pick is you, he says as he points to Yami. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is surprised by this. Hey, be careful, man. That's Captain Yami of the Black Bulls. They're the worst squad in the kingdom. Huh? They are? Oh well, I don't really care. Asta says to Sake, shrugging his shoulders. Why me, Brad? Because despite how annoying you are, you seem like a fun guy. That and the fact that your power level is the second strongest here. Power level? What do you mean? Lonzes asks. Sorry, but that's information from my squad only. Yami bursts out laughing at this. If what they say is true, and your squad is worse, then I'll just have to make you guys the best thing this kingdom has ever seen. No, even beyond that. I'll make you guys so strong that your names will be feared throughout heaven and hell. Oh yeah? You really up to the task, kid? Oh, you'll see. You're going to quickly find out that my arrival will be both a blessing and a curse. Boo, you're not funny. Shut up, What if Asta was chosen from birth? Chapter 1. The Boy Who Shook the Realms. End. That was a lot. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this up to this point. I have some very good ideas for the series, and I think it's about time that I stopped just pumping out One Piece X Naruto. I think it's about time to just start off with something new. I'm even going to try to add some music in the background, good music in the background, maybe an OST or something, and put a special thumbnail on the video to make it appease to other whatever's, instead of just putting a picture of whatever the hell I'm talking about. Your boy's getting professional with it. Noob won't be no noob no more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just hope that process doesn't take me so long, and that it's quite easy. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I hope you've enjoyed the video. So I've been gone for so long. I have a reason for this time. I didn't forget about it or lose passion for it. I just had so much things to do in life. I joined my school's track team and all that. So anytime I would have had for recording, just got wasted because of my time spent at track, and I started going to the gym, so that too. So both those things combined gave me no time by the time I get home. I get home around past 5 at this point, daily. So I no time to record, because by the time I finish everything that I want to do, eating, playing games with my friends, all that, it's 10 p.m. So yeah, the only time I can record on the weekends, and break. Like, it's break right now, so I should have plenty of time to record if I don't get lazy on my writing. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the series. I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe, maybe even comment if you're feeling a little generous. But most importantly, I hope you guys enjoy the video. And yeah, that's it. Noob out. And one final thing. Jesus loves you. God loves you. Never forget that. Amen.